Sleeping in separate beds occasionally.
Well, first of all, I'm going to preface this with, we have 2 kids. I never want to be not sleeping in the same bed as my husband. However, in the beginning, if you're like breastfeeding and kids are up at night, like that is the only exception, I would say. I prioritize the family first. And if there is an opportunity, again, it depends on number one, what it is, but also when it is. Like I'm never going to miss a holiday or a birthday party or like anything like that. And that's also, thank goodness, a blessing that I have within having my own business where I do have that flexibility. So I have built my business around my life. It's literally the women in the room, they all understand the abundance mindset. And when you have that, you're like, there's no lack. We actually all together, collectively, there's so much more power when we connect and collaborate together than if we were to just do it on our own, which is how Kelly and I started.
Yes. Let me tell you who the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow. Hello, Feral friends. Welcome back to Feral. I'm your host, Savana Montana, and today we have a special guest in the house. She is a strong believer that you can really have it all. So I'm very excited to dissect her book with her. She's an author, she's a wife, and a mother of 2, and she is now building a community of women to get together and build the life of their dreams. So without further ado, I welcome Sandi Glandt to the den. How are you?
Oh, amazing. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for being on the show.
This will be fun.
Yes, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited to have you. So you guys have already met Melissa. She's been on the show. She is literally best friends with Sandi. Yeah. So that's how we came to connect. We've been at a lot of the same events together and stuff like that in the past, but now we're actually sitting down to spend some quality time.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
Yes, me too. It's South Florida, as you know, it's such a big, small community. So like at some point your paths cross, and then when you find women who are like-minded and building and growing, it's, usually an instant connection.
Yes, for sure. Well, and now you guys are you involved with the beach workout stuff, or is that just a spinoff that is connected to Call the Lead separately?
So Call to Lead does micro events every month. So the beach workouts are part of our micro events that we do. So anyone in the Call to Lead community, if they have any tier level of their ticket, are invited to all the pop-up events that we do. So the beach workouts that we do, you've been to them,
Yeah, they're
so
super fun. Yeah.
And the entry in is literally just your ticket to the main event. So it's like the one ticket that you would have to Call to Lead, which is October 1st. First and second for our diamond ticket holders, October 1st for everybody else. We're going to have over 500 women in South Florida, which is amazing because this event it's really bringing the women that have the mindset of connection and collaboration and community, but at a really high level together. So just like that, we were talking about that instant, you feel connected, that will be an entire room of those women.
Yes.
So, but yes, those micro events are all included when they get their ticket to October 1st.
Got you. Very excited. Well, and usually I wouldn't do a plug this early in the episode, but since we're on the topic, Called to Lead is October 1st, 2026. That's the next event.
Yes.
If you are a female, it's for women only, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So if you're a female listening to the show, which you probably are, get your ticket. We're going to do a promo so you can get a free ticket, general admission ticket for October 1st.
Yeah. So we're going to do a giveaway. We'll do a giveaway. So if the subscribers, when this comes out, we'll do they can follow myself.
Yes.
And you.
Follow Sandi. I'm going to plug everything below in the show notes for you guys so you know which accounts to follow. And we'll set up the instructions in the caption as well. So you know exactly what to do. We'll do a giveaway for the October 1st event and hopefully you guys can be there.
Yeah. And the women that are going to be there, you guys are literally next level. They're not, I would say they're women who already have the mindset of collaboration and community and are at a level that's probably a little beyond just getting started, right? So these are women that I would say starting point is probably they're already at a 200K annually up to 2 million plus. They have communities, they're putting on events. They're authors, they're moms, they're wives, they're business builders. So they really are powerhouse women that are also there to connect with other powerhouse women, which is the whole point of the event, where we have our rally team leaders, which are like the women who are bringing in their communities and linking arms with the other women. So when they come to Call to Lead, they're like, this is my home. These are my women. And now I get to just meet even more incredible women.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We have so much to talk about on the show, you guys. And also, side note, I just found out that Sandi is a coach for 10 years. I had no idea that your coaching business has been 10 plus years now. So we're going to get a big sneak peek into what Sandi's day-to-day is and how she helps women, even one-on-one with coaching. So, but before we do that, we're going to play a game.
Okay, fun.
Which is going to give everybody an idea of what we're going to dive into on this episode. So all you have to do, I'm going to give you a scenario.
Okay.
And you just have to decide whether it falls into the category of having it all or if it's a hard pass for you.
Okay.
Cool?
Okay.
All right. Working from your phone at your son's baseball game.
I will say, personally, that's a hard pass for me. However, there are times when, like, let's say there is a magazine launch party coming up that weekend or something that needs to be immediate that needs my time and attention on, I will do it, but then be off because, like, I have a hard stop. So I will have a hard stop. Most days for me, it's 3:00, which some women are like, oh my God, like how do you hard stop at 3:00? It's because I hard stop at 3:00 to be with my kids from 3:30, 4:00 at their events, like at their soccer games, at their basketball, to be present. Like I'm not sitting in the stands on my phone. It's away. I'm there, I'm watching them, like, you know, probably getting them on video also to send to my husband, like FaceTiming my husband. So I will say pass unless there's something immediate that I know, like, you know, is a timestamp that needs immediate attention.
Yes, exactly. No, I think that's super fair. And also, this is what she coaches you how to do. So if you want to end your day at 3 p.m., you should probably call Sandi Glandt. I'm just saying. All right. Date nights on the calendar.
100%.
Yes.
Yes. And those, by the way, are like booked out 3 months in advance. So.
Oh, nice.
Yes. My husband and I sit down, like, I'll just give you a quick synopsis. January 1st, I take him to a spa day. I make it so sexy. We literally go, we get facials and massages and lunch. And we do this at, usually Aquilina has been our spot for the past 5 years. We take the entire calendar and we map out vacations, travel days, kids' schedules, school schedules, vacations, and date nights. Then we revisit monthly. Then it's like, oh, we wrote down, you know, we were going to go on a Thursday, but we're going to go on a Wednesday. So like it's updated monthly, but we literally do this on January 1st for the entire year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll send you the video.
Oh my God, I need the video. That's incredible.
Yeah.
For me to get Will to sit through a spa day for a weekend.
You make it sexy.
Make it really sexy. Yeah.
Because like they're relaxed. Jared like has his champagne. And then, you know, I'm there with like my calendar and my color coded markers. And he'll like pull out his calendar and his computer and we just go through the entire year in like an hour.
Really? So it's quick. It's just
quick,
like plug it in.
And it's fun. And he looks forward to it now. And he tells the guys in like his community, he's like, you got to do this with your wife. So then they get on board.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, this is fun. I'm excited already. All right. I know how you feel about this one, but for the ladies listening, hiring help, having it all or hard pass?
Oh my God. This is 100% a non-negotiable.
Yes.
Like you have to release the idea that you have to do it all, meaning you have to be the one to do all the laundry, do all the cleaning, do all the cooking. I will say, like, I want to be there with my kids, like, which means I have to be okay with outsourcing and delegating the things that would take up my time otherwise. I'm not going to miss my kids' soccer game or basketball game because I have to do housework.
No.
Right? Or be exhausted on a weekend. And I know some people are like, I don't have the money. What if I'm not there yet? If you outsource little by little, you will see how much time it actually saves you. Then to be able to afford to have the ability to have an outsource that help.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Yes. And actually, Will's the one that taught me that.
Yeah.
Because I used to make fun of him that he would Uber Eats food or Instacart groceries. I was like,
yes.
What? That's so lazy. You could just go get it yourself. He's like, my time is so valuable. I would not ever go and do this myself. Also, he's a man. So it's a little bit different, but now I swear by Instacart and Uber Eats.
Oh my gosh. My
housekeeper is like my best friend. Yeah, she's amazing.
And like my mother-in-law calls me, she's like, you are the Instacart queen because at least 3 times a week, I mean, because I get, Publix for some things, Sprouts for other things, like your produce versus your paper goods. So, I have like all my different places that I get it from, but it's literally like I order it, it comes to my door, and then my cleaning lady in my house, she cleans it, puts it away, organizes everything. Amazing. Meanwhile, I'm also on client calls or with my kids.
Yeah.
So I'm like in the places that are making me money or where I want to be with my family.
Yeah. Well, and you're also, one, you're buying back your time, and two, you're supporting somebody else's small business.
Right.
So it's a win-win. Like now she has money for herself to put food on the table for her family because you're feeding into her small business also to feed back into your home.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's a win across the board. Sleeping in separate beds occasionally.
Than your spouse? I would say hard pass. Well, first of all, I'm going to preface this with, we have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning, like in the thick of it, when you're breastfeeding and up at night, there was definitely times when I'm like in the baby's room, with Jake or Jordy because I'm breastfeeding. And however, we also did have a night nurse. So that was also something that was outsourced because when I had Jordy, so my second, who is almost 6 years old, my book came out the same month. My first book came out the same week that I had him.
Wow.
So I would do this regardless if I had a book launch or something else going on. We had a night nurse who would support us with like bringing him into me so I could breastfeed. She would change him. She'd put him back down so I could also sleep. And so could my husband. So I would say hard pass. Like I never want to be not sleeping in the same bed as my husband. However, in the beginning, if you're like breastfeeding and kids are up at night, like that is the only exception I would say.
Yeah. No, I think that makes perfect sense. Outsourcing your grocery delivery.
Yeah.
Done. Check. That's having it all. We're doing that for sure. 5 a.m. morning routines.
Okay. So again, exception to the rule. When I was competing in a fitness competition a year and a half ago, yes, because I was like vigorously working out. I was working out 2 hours a day. I would weight lift in the morning, do cardio at night. However, I'm in a different season right now. So now it's like between 6 and 7 a.m. wake ups. So no 5 a.m. wake ups unless it's for it to hit a goal.
Unless there's like a reasoning behind it.
Right.
Is your morning routine the same every day?
Or pretty much. I'm very structured. So if it's not, there's like a snafu or like something happened. Like I'm up, it's usually up and workouts, making the kids breakfast, and then literally like just into the routine of our morning, which, we can get into, but it's very structured.
Yes. No, I like it. Structure is good. It makes other things a lot easier when you just know what's coming next.
And I do a lot the night before. Like there's actually more prep that goes into the night before than the morning of, because in the morning of it's already done. Like my workout clothes are already out. The kids have an organizer, so we homeschool, but I still put them in uniforms, like little collared shirts and little khaki shorts. That's
the cutest thing I've ever heard. I still homeschool my kids, but they have a uniform to wear. So they show up correct every day. No, that's the best thing I've heard ever.
So they have an organizer in our laundry room, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with everything like underwear, socks, shirts, shorts, or pants, whatever. And they can go in and take them out of the day and get themselves dressed. I mean, they're almost 6 and almost 9. So they are old enough to take that responsibility.
Wow. That's amazing. No, that's fantastic. Wow. I'm like, I need parenting. When I have children, I'm calling Sandi. Yeah. Nanny guilt, like the guilt of having a nanny.
No. I don't think I ever had nanny guilt because I also saw what it gave me, which was another set of eyes and ears and arms and just like being able to also take one-on-one time with your kids or your spouse. Like I would do one-on-one dates, and I still do with each of the boys, where it could be like a Starbucks date. It could be like we go out to a boba, a little boba date. So she can be with one while I get quality time with the other, or a date night with Jared. So like he and I can go out. I have the best in-laws in the entire world. I love them so much. They were at the house last night for our date night. And support system. So I think whether it's a nanny, a housekeeper, the in-laws, a babysitter, like really having people that you can trust and they can support you and be a part of your team.
Yeah, no, it's crucial. Yeah, that's amazing. Traditional gender roles.
So in our relationship, it's pretty traditional. Like my husband is primarily like, he's the one that's working out. I can't even say 9 to 5 because he works nights and weekends and holidays and all the things.
He lives in his office.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so although I have my own business, it is traditional in the sense that like, I'm the one making the meals. I'm the one, running the kids' schedules. And so we have very traditional roles. However, I'm also switching back and forth from work mode into, home and kids and all of that.
Yeah.
So I like a traditional family setup. That's what I grew up with. Not to say that's the only way. I think you have to do what works for you. I have some of my best friends, like they're the breadwinners and their husbands are like doing homeschool with their kids. I think, again, you have to do what works for you.
Yes.
But it also, back to the structure, like how is that supporting the life that you're living with the bigger picture?
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. I like that too. Traditional, I feel like it can get, I don't know, today's day and age, women are so strong and so independent and really can have it all and create it all. But in a dynamic between man and woman, there's different sides to it. And I feel like society is starting to lean more back into the tradition because there's a reason that we are built the way that we're built. And I think we got a little far away from that, but you really can't have both. You just have to create it.
You have to also I think get really, really clear on what it means. Like if it is a traditional setup, like what is his lane? What is yours? Like my grandparents were married for over 65 years. They had a business together. So my grandmother was a teacher. They also had a real estate business together. They also owned a clothing design company together. They had 4 boys. So like,
oh my gosh,
there was so much, but they also supported each other because they knew like my grandmother had help in the house. So she would have help. And imagine this was in the 50s and 60s, right? And so she was like working her full-time job, but would also come home and have dinner on the table. And my pop, would come home from work and like love the fact that she had this there for them. So I've always lived and seen that traditional setup, even with my own parents, where my dad was an entrepreneur, but my mom was working, but also supporting my dad. So I think that you just what works for you, but you've got to be each other's cheerleaders.
Yes.
And support each other, because I think what's really hard is if you have a partner who's not on board with you, that conversation has to happen. How can I support you? Vice versa. How can he do that for you or she do that for you? But what's the bigger picture to make it all work together for the whole, the unit, the family unit.
Yeah. Cause everybody's version is going to be different. So as long as it works for you guys and you can create it the way you want it to be, it's going to be fine.
Right.
It'll be great.
Yes.
Yeah. Moms needing solo vacations.
I have really good friends who love doing this. I miss my kids. Yeah. I want to be with my kids.
You're where are they at? This is boring without you.
And it may come. I mean, I'm the oldest of 3, and there was always people at my house. It was my mom, my dad, my brothers, the dog. There's always somebody there. And it's so funny because a week or so ago, I wasn't feeling good. And my best friend who we homeschool with was like, let the kids come to my house for the day. You can be alone. And my husband called me up and he was like, are you doing okay? I know you don't like to be alone. So
even when she's sick, she doesn't want to be alone.
I just love, I don't know, even if I can hear the kids in the house, even if, I really do enjoy a full home and a house. Not to say that I don't want to go out for maybe a couple of hours and have a coffee day to not even a day, a couple hours to myself, but I really enjoy being with my family. I want to be with them. And then I also hope that when they get older, they want to also be with us, you know? I want to keep them close. And I am very fortunate that I grew up with an amazing family dynamic of aunts and uncles and cousins always being close. So I was always used to that big family dynamic. So I think some people love it. Again, it's a personal preference. I love being surrounded by all the love.
Yes. Yeah. And are you guys done it too, kids?
I don't know.
Because it's if you like a big family, in my mind, I want more children because I want the chaos. Yeah. I want that. I want kids running around, whether they're fighting or something spilling. I want that because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So
are you, how many siblings do you have?
I'm one of 6.
Oh my gosh.
So I know, but 4 of them are half siblings. And then my full blood brother, we're 18 months apart.
Okay.
So, but because of my parents' separation, we got split up a lot.
Okay.
And so I don't want that for my family dynamic for obvious reasons, but I want the chaos. So I'm like at least 3 I think would be nice, because same as you, when they're older and it's just him and I want them to come with their girlfriends or their wives and then the grandkids. So I'm like, fill up the big house because I miss you guys.
We want like a compound.
Yes.
So we always talk about having a compound. It's like our house and then my in-laws' house. If my parents want to be there, we'll have a house for them. And then like the boys. I'm almost 40. Like my birthday was a week ago. And
congratulations, first of all. And second of all, she does not look 40. You look insanely good.
So I feel like Jared and I said, like, look, if we end up getting pregnant before 40, like, great. Mm-hmm. If not, then like, it's just what God has in our plan for us, you know? But I think that, I mean, I'm open to whatever God blesses us with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you're still good. You already have 4 people in the house too. So between you 2 and the boys, it's great. Yeah. Next, scheduling intimacy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. I know people think this is crazy.
No, I don't think it is, because I've talked to Will about it and he thinks it's crazy. I'm like, babe, I think this is actually fantastic. No. But I'm glad. I want to hear your take.
I want him to report back to me when you guys have kids and see how it changes the marriage. Because like it really, like we sometimes will be like, okay, we have in our house, because the boys are in our bed. Mm-hmm. Like if your kids are sleeping in your room too, that's like not just happening. No. So you have to schedule it, right? So we'll be like, we have to go have a meeting. We have to go like talk about our vacation coming up, you know? And so
it makes it fun.
So so it's not just like so spontaneous, like before you have kids. So yes, we're not scheduling it down to like the minute. However, you're like, okay, you know, we need to go have a meeting. We need to go have a talk or a spa session, you know? And so, you have to schedule it, or else it does get away from you. Mm-hmm. Like when like his calendar's busy and your calendar's busy and the kids have their own schedule, you know? Because now my kids have school schedule, camp schedule, summer schedule, travel schedule on top of everything else.
Yeah, and sports and whatever extracurricular things they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like just making sure that you're prioritizing that, because that should be the main, like when your kids, like I know when my kids see Jared and I like loving on each other and like dancing in the kitchen and like being loving and intimate, like not intimate, but you know, just like affectionate with each other. Yeah. They love that. They like want to get in on it, you know? And so I think that's very healthy for them to see for their own, like as they get older, you know, teenagers and then into adulthood, for what a healthy relationship looks like. And if we're not modeling that, like that's the first example they're going to see. So we just want to like protect that for us. And then obviously as that example for our kids.
That's incredible. That's a really, really good point too, because they are going to emulate that relationship with their own future girls that they're with. Yeah. Right.
I always tell them, I'm like, your future wives are so lucky.
Yeah.
Like they're
they
such
are
lovers. Like they have like the biggest hearts, and they'll go to the park and they'll be riding bikes and they'll literally stop and to like pick me flowers. And it's just, they're so sweet. But that's what they see their dad doing. Like that's what they see Jared doing. Coming home and bringing me flowers or surprising me, or like for my birthday, he brought home these balloons and like put notes on all the balloons, and like very romantic.
That's very romantic. Yeah. They're learning from the best.
Yes.
Shout out to Jared.
Yes.
Business calls during bath time.
No, hard pass. Like, don't even bring the phone in the bathroom.
No.
Like that is your time for your kids. And like, I'm in there probably like taking photos of the kids, because we do like fun stuff. We'll do like the glow sticks in there, and I'll like turn off the lights and do a bubble machines. Like
fun.
I want them to have like fun childhood. Like I felt like mine was like that. And so unless you're like in there to take photos of like something silly they're doing, like they'll get shaving cream and put it all over, you know? Like,
oh my gosh, I forgot about shaving cream. That used to be like at birthday parties. Do you remember that as a kid?
No.
What did we do?
There would be like the bubble machines.
Yeah, bubble machines for sure. But I think maybe it was like a contest when they would do Like beard. Oh, that's what it was. They would do a shaving cream beard,
and then you would
and then you would throw cotton balls to try to build a beard on someone's. Wow, this is really taking me back. It's getting me nostalgia.
But you'll see it, like, you know, if you guys, you know, if that's on your plan to have kids, like I saw this video and I actually reposted it because I loved it so much, and it was like parenting. I don't know the exact wording, but it was like parenting is just really good marketing. Like put your kids in the car and be like, we're going to go for like a warm, cozy, like donut ride. And you go and get like donuts, or you go and you just go for a ride to like, I don't know, like look at the clouds in the sky. Like how can you make it fun?
Yes.
You know? And so those are the things that they're going to remember and you remember. And so I think that it really is just good marketing. Like we're going to go in the bathtub and like just do a shaving cream contest or like whatever, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So just like making it fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. So no phones during bath time. No phones. I like it. Saying no to opportunities.
Okay. So I'm split on this.
I would understand why.
Because I have, especially after I had my first son, like I was so, especially in the newborn stage and within that first year, I really, like, I would have amazing opportunities that would come and I would say no because I was like, I don't want to be away. Like, I didn't even want to miss, like, bedtime. I didn't want to miss the bedtime routine. I even have, like, a little agreement with my sons because they don't ever want me. Like, I came here today. They're like, Mom, why can't you do it virtually? Like, they're so like, used to me working from home. I'm like, I'll be back in 2 hours. That, like, I prioritize the family first. And if there is an opportunity, again, it depends on, number one, what it is, but also when it is. Like, I'm never going to miss a holiday or a birthday party or like anything like that. And that's also, thank goodness, a blessing that I have within having my own business where I do have that flexibility. So I have built my business around my life. I get to say yes and no to whatever I want. And so I also know that there's women out there who don't get to do that. So I think that if you do have the opportunity and the option to do that, protect that at all costs. Because I have women who have kids that are in college that are like, protect this time, it's so sacred. I'm like, I know, I'm in it and I see how fast it's going by. So I really am like cognizant and aware of what I'm saying yes and no to based on like whatever's going on at that moment with the kids, with my husband. And I say yes and no based on where I need to.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
So I think, but also knowing like, what is your priority? Like have your non-negotiables. When the kids were little, I did not want to miss a bedtime.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And so now they're a little bit older and I'll be like, okay, I can be gone for like 48 hours, you know? And like, if my husband's there or the in-laws can help, then I'm okay with that. If it's not something really important, like I would never miss something important.
Well, and when opportunities come your way, you do have to give a yes or a no. And sometimes when you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to another thing. So you have to look at it that way.
Right.
And if you're laser focused on a specific accomplishment, sometimes the opportunities that come your way may be a distraction from what you already said yes to.
Right.
So you have to be very intentional about what opportunities you are taking on.
Right.
Because like you said with your family, you don't want it to pull away from that.
Yeah.
So if that's your main priority, that's okay.
Right.
That's your choice.
And even, you know, with Called to Lead, like we were talking about earlier, Kelly and I have been because she also, her daughter is 12 years old. We are very, like we said, we want to build the South Florida women's community because that's where we are, you know, she also homeschools as well, her and her husband. And so we're like, the community that we're building is here. So we have a PR team that's like, well, do you want to do media here or there? And we're like, no, like we want to be building it here where we are. So we don't have to miss a dinner, whatever it is, you know, with our families. And so we're building very strategically in our area. So our kids get to be a part of it.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. It would defeat the purpose of your messaging to go to other places almost because your branding is so specific about having it all and making it work for you.
Yeah.
So you're like, we're not leaving Florida because we live in Florida.
We're going to build where we are.
Yeah.
And you know, you've seen like my kids come to the events and they'll speak on stage. Or
they do. They literally speak. I get frightened. I can sit on this camera all day and talk to you guys, put a mic in front of my hand on a stage. Her sons have no problem speaking on a stage.
They love it. They're like, when's the next event we can speak at? And they want to come because they want to like speak on a stage or speak at an event or whatever.
They're so cute.
And so we also, part of like homeschooling is the last event that we had, they had a table, a booth. They were selling these little connection cards that they made to have connection time at the dinner table. And so they're coming up with these ideas. I'm like, this is entrepreneurship. This is sales. This is at Epic Talks at Melissa's event, which is amazing. Like when you have friends who have businesses, podcasts, events, stages, and you're all intertwining together. She's like, Sandi, bring your kids, like put them on stage, let them talk to the audience. Like they're not afraid, you know? And so I think the number one fear is like heights and public speaking.
Yes.
And so if the majority of the population is afraid of public speaking, imagine if they would have had that from the age of like 3, 4, 5. It would just be like second nature to them.
It would be normal. Yeah. Not intimidating at all. Yeah. Hustle culture.
Oh, hard no.
It's
hard no.
I am with you on this too.
Yes.
I've actually done whole episodes on why I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
So
I think there was a huge wave, like we talked about this before, of girl bossing and hustle culture, but why? Like, why did we ever fall into this trap of a hustle culture? We're never turning off phones. We have to be present 24/7. We are neglecting ourselves and our families and actually what matters most, because for what? For phone calls, for text messages, for emails that like can wait another 12 to 24 hours or more. When that, like, my clients know, especially my one-on-one clients, like if I'm not answering them, let's say past 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I will get back to them the next day when I'm in my office hour window because I'm with my kids or I'm at an event or I'm at soccer or whatever, right? But hustle culture, it's like we fell for this trap of never turning it off and burning ourselves out. And then like all just collectively decided like that was a good idea. And now I think we're on the flip side of it where we're like, what did we just put up with for the last 10 years?
Well, and I think too, hustle culture, it's like staying busy. You're always doing something. And sometimes you're so focused on looking like you're getting shit done that you're not actually getting shit done. And then
which
that's
is such
where
a trap.
It's a trap.
Yes.
And it's a fallacy. And that's what everybody sees online. So they feel, okay, I need to do more and more. But you're actually not being efficient or accomplishing what you're supposed to be doing.
And this is literally the number one thing that my clients come to me for because they feel so busy, but they're like, okay, my revenue isn't growing. I'm not getting, you know, more clients or more opportunities. Like the bottom line isn't growing, but I'm working 24/7. So I'm like, well, that should tell you something. If the revenue isn't growing, if you're staying in the same spot, but you're busy all day, I call it, like in my program, the big money moves. So what are your 3 big money moves that every single day are moving you forward and actually taking you to a place where you're hitting your goals? Whether it's a revenue goal, it could be a client goal, it could be a visibility goal, like whatever that is for you. If you're not doing that every single day for at least minimum of an hour, like 60 minutes, everybody can do 60 minutes. The emails can wait. The content can wait. Like all the things that we get so busy with, do the thing that's going to move the needle. I just had a client who did this. She signed up with my program. In 48 hours, she goes, oh my gosh, I have 4 clients. I think she had 5 others like on her wait list to work with her that she was like booking, you know, calls with. And she's like, I just joined your program 48 hours ago and it's working. I'm like, I know.
That actually works. I didn't make it up. That's incredible. So that's a really fast return on her.
Yes, because
ROI.
It's like she was so busy on a forward-facing like persona that she got away from the thing that would actually give her the results.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Last one, being the breadwinner. You kind of touched on it earlier, but.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, you have to do what's right for you and your family. I think that, you know, there's a lot of like the misconception of you have to be like the man has to be the breadwinner. But like, again, whatever works for you. I have plenty of friends where, again, the dynamic is flipped, but that works for them in their families. So I would say there's no like right or wrong way here. It just has to be like what works for you, what works for the setup, and what's the goal. Like at the end of the day, if you're making more than he is, but like you're homeschooling your kids and you are able to get the return on what you want, it really doesn't, like there's no right or wrong way. It just has to be like collectively for the family what's best.
Yeah. Well, like what's your way? And you have to remember too, this is something I think about a lot walking into a marriage is we're a team. Like we're basically one unit 100%. Now. So all the other things like this and that, like it doesn't really matter because if it works for your unit, that's the way that it should be, you know, because you're now one, like you're a family. There's 4 of you. Right.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's like the wins are the family's wins. And if both you, the spouse, and even the kids, right? Like sometimes because they're close in age, our boys, and 2 boys, you know?
Yeah.
So like they're arguing about something. We're like, you guys are on the same team. And we say our motto in our house is Team Glandt. We do a whole thing. You put your hands in Team Glandt. And it just like reminds them like, we are all on the same team. You guys are not fighting each other. Your toys are his toys. His are, you know, same thing. And you guys need to work together because that's what's going to give you the outcome that you want. The other thing too is like abundance. Like we talk to them all the time about abundance. We're like, you guys, there's literally no such thing as lack because the one wants the other things, toy or whatever. And you're like, there is an overflow of abundance. And if you're worried about that, whatever it is, toy, magnetile, like you're forgetting that there's like an overflow of everything, of the opportunity, of the abundance in the room. So like if you actually work together, you will have 100 times more than if you're fighting each other over whatever the thing is.
One thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. I love that you teach them that too, because I didn't learn about abundance until after my mid-20s.
Yeah.
So, and once you reframe your brain into realizing that literally nothing ever runs out, everything looks different.
And they have to work for it. Like my son asked me the other day, he's like, Mom, I want a safe that I can like put my finger on and it like opens the safe. And I'm like, okay, let's look. It was like $30 on Amazon. I'm like, okay, how are you going to work for it? How are you going to earn it? You know? So it's never a no. It's like, how are you going to make it happen?
Yes.
Which is life and business.
Yes.
Like if someone tells you no, find another way to make it happen. Look for the window. Like if the door closes, look for the window of opportunity, which is great. Cause like, I think that a lot of times it's easy to just give them. Like if, you know, a lot of parents are like, oh, I didn't have this. I want to give to them. And I'm guilty of that too. Like I want to give my kids everything, but I also want them to know like they have to learn how to earn and like make that on their own. I don't want to, cause that'll be, you know, that kids turn into teenagers who just receive, don't know how to then create or make on their own. And then you're kind of in trouble.
Yes.
Right. So
big trouble.
At this point right now with 5 and 8, they are learning like they have to figure out how to get these things for themselves.
No, that's brilliant. It really, truly is. So I want to go backwards a little bit and talk about your breakthrough moment. We spoke about it a little bit in pre-show, but your mom was... Your dad traveled a lot for work. Yes. And so your mom was at home, but also working full time. And it was kind of overwhelming and very extreme. And her best friend had a different system that you were fortunate enough to see at a young age. So can you tell us a little bit about that breakthrough moment and seeing that there is a different way
so I wrote about this in my first book, in Slayer Day. And so, you know, my mom was amazing. Like she wanted us in all the activities and the sports and, it was just for her. And again, like I think you have more perspective as a mom and you realize like if you don't have support and if you're not willing to like put yourself in a position to like have people to help you and support you, it is very tough. Because even with help and support, it's tough, right? Because you're always thinking like, what am I missing? Or where do I need to be? Or what do I need to do? So she told me, she's like, I feel like I'm just dying. I'm not even surviving. I just feel like every day, like she was taking care of 3 kids. She was working full time. My dad was traveling, trying to get dinner on the table and all the other things, you know, as a child. And then even into like my teenage years, just saw a mom who was like constantly burnt out, running on fumes. Her best friend, who I used to nanny her kids, again, also 3 kids, I would go to their house and they had like calendars and color organized charts and like it was a whole other world. And I'm like, wow, this is so different than what I see in my day-to-day life. but also like a mom who was working, who had 3 kids. Like it was this very similar setup, but completely different world. And so it was such a gift because I saw the chaos of not having systems, not having a plan, and what that looked like. And then on the flip side, same kind of setup, but so much more in alignment and organization and flow. And so for me, I was like, wow, this is like my first aha moment before I ever even had kids of what that could look like. Fast forward, now I have my first son, Jake, and I'm literally on the bathroom floor. And again, I talk about this in my first book, on the bathroom floor, breakdown moments, and hormones are crazy.
Yeah, you're a first-time mom,
you are postpartum. Not even yourself. You're literally like, I call it the dark ages because your hormones are off the charts. You're sweating. You're losing hair. You're like, it's a whole thing.
Oh,
it is
my
a whole thing. I was breastfeeding. So you're like, you feel like you're just not yourself. Like for a good year to 2 years, you are not yourself because you're keeping a baby alive.
Wow.
While also trying to figure out like, how do I, in my case, I was trying to run a business, be a wife, like literally keep all the balls in the air while trying to figure that season out for the first time ever. And my breakdown moment, thank God, again, my husband was like, could see kind of like, what does they say, like the light through the storm, or like he was such a good mirror for me because he was like, Sandi, you are going through this for a reason to show other women like how it can be done and like how to navigate this. And so that breakthrough moment of crying on the bathroom floor was literally like, I'm going to figure out like, how do I, because my question was, how do I run a business, take care of a baby, but not just take care, but like be an exceptional mother, right? Like I don't want to do anything in my life just like status quo. Like if I'm going to do it, I go in 100%, right? I don't care if it's a project with my kids, with my husband, a date night, like if I'm going to do it, I commit 100%. I don't do anything halfway.
Right.
And so I also had that same mindset where I was like, I want to be that same way in business, in my home, with my kids, all the buckets, right? So that's kind of what brought me back to, if I'm going to be at this level in all these areas, there has to be organization. There has to be systems. So through my own, and we talked about this before we started recording, I used to be in the event planning space also. And so like all those years of like, and you know with events, like if you've ever put on events, they never go according to plan.
Oh my God, no.
Like the thing that you can always rely on is they will not go according to plan. Like there's going to be snafus and there's going to be things that like just, throw a wrench in the plan.
Yeah.
And so, which is great because that's how parenting is. Like nothing ever goes according to plan. It really like primes you and preps you for all of those things to come. So for me, I was like willing to take on the challenge of how do I put the right systems and strategies in place and the support. Those are the 3 pillars of all my coaching: system, strategy, support, in order to really be at those levels of wife, mom, business owner, leader, community builder, like all the different pillars. And then the beautiful thing is like in the High Performance Academy that I have right now, these women, all of them are incredible moms. Not all of them are moms and wives, but the level that they're operating at is they're like, I don't want to be burnt out, stressed out. Like I want to operate at this level and be surrounded by other women who are also showing me that it can be done.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because you're optimizing your potential and you're getting better and better and better at it. And you can, when you figure out the system or you start working with a person like you can actually be present in all of the stages of your day and in your life. So you're present with your kids, you're present with your clients, you're present with your husband because you've basically just created a system to not fall short.
And when you see somebody else doing it, you know it can be done. If you don't have that blueprint, like in my case, I just was living from like what I saw growing up until I went into the other home and saw what was possible. Have you ever heard there's that story of the man who he couldn't break like the 5-minute mile.
Okay.
And then there was someone that came along that was training and broke the 5-minute mile. And then within weeks of this man breaking the 5-minute mile, all these other people started breaking it.
Because they realized it could be done.
Because they saw somebody else could do it.
I love that. Yes. I feel like I have heard this story before, but it makes sense. Like you don't realize how powerful your mind is for one thing,
Right.
but if you can see it, you can literally, if you believe you can do something, you can turn it into your reality. You just have to want it bad enough.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a really good analogy though. That's an analogy to life. You can really make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the belief, like if you, and this has to go back to the core of like how, you know, really deep into like how you were raised and the belief system, but really truly at the root of who we all are is either believing that it can be done or being shown that it can be done and then knowing that you can do it too, which again, like for our kids, like we never, I mean, obviously if something's not safe, then it's a no, but if we'll never say no to something if they want it, if they can go earn it and make it happen. But it's like, if you believe and you can see that it can be done, like go for it. And even if you don't think that it can be done and you haven't seen it, you be the first one to go do it, you know? But sometimes it does take someone showing you that it's possible in order for you to then believe it and then actually quantify it can happen.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. Because, I mean, look at Alex Cooper, for example. I don't know if you know who she is, but she because when she started doing everything and coming out with every tier and every next step that she went just from starting her podcast was crazy because what I had thought for so many years, I got to watch her do in real life. And I was like, wow, I'm not crazy. This is all super doable because if she can do it, anybody else can do it too.
And now she has a whole like media empire.
Literally now she's doing reality TV. She has shows on YouTube. She's got a whole network of podcasters that are a part of her Unwell. She's doing all of the things. But I'm like, it's crazy when you imagine something. She was imagining the same thing just from a different place in the world. But she actually executed on it and created it and now it's a thing. So it's like, wow, your dreams are not as crazy as you make them in your mind. You can actually build them and make them your reality.
And so that is also the power of getting in rooms like Call to Lead, you know, like Epic Talks, where you're with other people who are believing and achieving at such high levels. So you're like, okay, I'm not the crazy one. Like other people think and operate like this.
Yes.
And it's normal.
It's normal.
It's normalized. And you're like, wow, like this big of a thing is something that like I'm not thinking with. And then I can actually like connect with these people, collaborate with these people. And then it becomes so much bigger.
Yes, it does. And we're all just humans at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like you're just a girl. She's just a girl. I'm just a girl. Like you can do it. Though. But as long as you believe that. And then like you said, surrounding yourself with the right people who are already doing what you want to be doing. Right. You can skip 10 paces and pass go because they've already done it. Yeah. You know, so it's doable. Right. Yeah. No, I love that. So I personally think that women kind of get addicted to the chaos of not having a system in place because women, we naturally need to be needed. So how do you feel on the topic of being addicted to the chaos instead of putting a system in place? Do you think a lot of women fall into that trap?
I think when you actually see what life is like living in the chaos, and I'm sure everybody knows what this feeling is, running in the chaos, knowing like that, and that's like such an anxiety-ridden feeling.
It is horrible.
When you flip from that into the other side, like the dark side, the anxiety, the fear, the missing out, the whatever that, you know, that anxiety feeling is over onto the schedule. And I think a lot of people think, oh my gosh, if I'm scheduled, I feel like I'm living in this cage and in this box and there's no freedom over here. You actually get 100 times more freedom, flexibility when you're living on the other side, on the flip side, because you know what your priorities are, you know what your boundaries are, and you also know like where you want to show up. If you're like, again, like in the beginning stages of having, you know, my babies, that was like, if I wasn't running there, that would give me anxiety. But I'm like, why? Like, it's almost like you're always on high alert. Yes. Like you're always running from the tiger or the lion, right? It's like, I'm always being chased, but it's an email or it's for what, right? Like at the end of the day, what is really the priority? What am I going after? And why do I want to feel this way? Like, I don't ever want, like, I think there's times and places where if it's really urgency to, like, if someone needs to go to the hospital, if someone, like, that is called for, right? But not every day. like not every day. And if you feel like you're living in that every day, I promise you, there is a so much more peaceful, abundant way to run your life that doesn't feel chaotic, overwhelming, and like anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I believe, because I'm guilty. I'm guilty of the opposite spectrum where I lie to myself and I'm like, oh no, I can't be caged in. I can't be boxed in. Like I don't need, my day doesn't need to look the same every single day. Like, and I'm a very free spirit and I'm fly by the seat of my pants, but I'm also do really well with routine and structure because I had it at a period of my life and I've recreated it at other stages. And if I look at those moments, I'm the happiest and the healthiest that I've ever been when I do implement my routine more strictly and I hold myself way more accountable. Yeah. And I'm a harder person to be around when I'm in that stage because I'm so in my zone. But now it's just being in the phase where you learn to incorporate flexibility, but also by sticking to your routines and what you hold yourself accountable to, because you can be flexible without being rigid. Exactly. And still get everything done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I say like, know your non-negotiables, right? Like you have to know at the end of the day, like what are those non-negotiables? But then you can also be flexible within the rest of whatever it is that you're creating. Mm-hmm. But if you know, for example, you don't want to miss your kid's bedtime schedule, right? Okay, you need to get done with whatever those non-negotiables are. And I like to say 3 a day. Mm-hmm. They can be like in my big money moves, I talk about what are your 3 for the day? They can change day to day. Like maybe one day you have to get your kid's birthday cake because their birthday is coming up, right? Mm-hmm. And then you also have to shoot a podcast and then you have to like do your big money moves, like your hour of like your actual power hour to like, you know, move your business forward.
Right.
Those are the 3. You're not on a to-do list of 20 different things. You literally know what you need to do and you do that and you move on. And there's flexibility within that. But if you're too rigid, you're like locked in, you're caged in, right? But if there's too much flow and too much lax, you also like, where are you going? Mm-hmm, like,
what's actually getting done? Yeah, we're having too much fun now.
Yes. Uh-huh. So I think it is a happy medium of like, know the non-negotiables, what are the priorities? And then like for me, again, I shut the day down by 3:00 most days, unless there's like a call scheduled or something, because I'm also like, I have to be on the road with my kids by 3:30 to get them to 4:00 practice.
Yeah, so you're literally giving yourself a 30-minute window to even get yourself ready to jump in the car and leave. Right. Which is like bare minimum for you as a mom and an operator.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. And on top of it, we talked about this as well, but it's like turning off the masculine. So when my husband comes home, I'm not alpha, which is something I've had to learn over the past couple of years. Like turn it off, turn it down, and like get into the feminine flow side. So you're not coming from that place of, you know, 2 alphas coming at each other.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we don't want that. No. Will and I are both very alpha. So there's that definitely the turn off switch, which helps your relationship thrive so much more when you can figure out how to turn off your masculinity and step into your feminine side. Right. And just be the girl at home, you know, like the mom or the wife, or
and like receiving just like, even when my husband comes home, like, and this is just very recently, like go to the door and like greet him and kiss him and like tell him you're so happy to see him. Like I don't know, for a long time I felt like, oh, I don't need to do that. Like he knows I love him. Like, no, but like go do it, because it's actually like you're putting some like currency in the love bucket, you know? And so I think that there is, again, that ebb and flow of like when you turn it on, when you turn it off, and just knowing like what your relationship needs. Yeah,
I totally agree. When it comes to, since we're on the topic, when it comes to your marriage with Jared, what has the dynamic between you two, how has he helped you grow as not only a wife and mother, but also as an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So I have to preface with like, I am so grateful because he's such an incredible husband, man, father. Like he really, you know, balances me. I'm very, obviously, as we're talking, scheduled and like systemized, where he's more kind of go with the flow. And I think he has to be also in the business that he's in. Yeah. Because things change in like a second and he's got to be flexible, you know? So I feel like he does a really good job at bringing the flow and the ease in. to let me just kind of like turn that off, you know, and not be so in the masculine. I think that it's so funny because we also talked about this like in the pre-show.
Yes.
I can go to him or he can go to me and have this like amazing idea. But typically when it comes from your spouse, you don't fully receive it.
Right. Oh,
and
for
then
sure
like
not.
someone else will tell you and they're like, they had this great idea. I heard this thing. And you're like, hello, I just like told you this a couple of weeks ago and you had to hear it from so-and-so in order to actually like hear it. And so I think we've done that with each other, whether it's like me sharing something with like health or wellness or spirituality. And then he'll hear it from someone else and he'll be like, oh, wow, I really like received that. Or something in business where he'll tell me and it's the same type of situation.
Yeah.
But I think that he's like, Jared is so good at being fluid in like going from a really hard work day, events. I mean, they have events back to back to back, like all the time. And then just like coming home and being like, roughhousing with the kids. And so he's really good at like that switch, which I need to get better at. And I think because I'm so used to like getting things done, it's hard to turn it off when you're like going from getting things done in business to getting things done at home, you know? So he's just really, really good at like maneuver and he does it naturally so well that I need to get better at that.
So you're like, I need to learn your ways on this one.
And I think that we both hold each other to an understanding of a high standard of like how we see each other's potential. And I think in a loving way, like not in a forceful way, in a loving way, are always like each other's biggest cheerleaders and champions, but also like elevating each other to like whatever that next level for that person's potential could be.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I think if you are constantly having these conversations about like, what do you want? What are your goals? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do like business wise? Where do we want to be in 5 years? You know, like I know one of my husband's biggest goals is like the compounds.
Yes.
You know, but like we both want that.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like, what age? How old are the kids? Like, where are we in life? But we know that.
Yeah.
You know, we know that about each other. And I think that it's just like having those conversations and being excited for where you're going, because it's so easy to get caught up in just like the day to day to day. Hence why you also have to schedule your intimacy and, you know, like what we're talking about, because life just moves so fast. And then you have kids and it moves even faster, and then a business and it all just compounds. So I think that like, number one, being cut from the same cloth of like, what are the values and morals and like, what do you guys want together? But then learning from each other and like knowing that that's why you have that partner, you know? So if we're gonna get spiritual about it, it's like, that is also a great opportunity for that to be a lesson for both of the partners, you know? So that's something new I've probably really leaned into in the last like year and a half.
What do you, for the couples that are listening to this episode, what is one of the hardest things that you and Jared have had to overcome as a team? And if whatever that is, do you think is a common struggle for people who are couples?
I mean, I feel like if I were to think back, so we've been married for 10 years together.
Congratulations. You just celebrated your 10-year anniversary.
Yes. Together for 12, a little over 12 years. I mean, honestly, the hardest, if I were to like look back at all that time, the hardest time for us was when we were moving. This was during COVID. I was like, I think Jordy was maybe like a year. And we were moving houses. So our house was being built, like the you know, construction, all the things. And we were in limbo. So like we moved out of our house way too soon. So we ended up for like a month or more, maybe 2-3 months we lived at our country club for a month. We lived at our in-laws' house for like a month. It was like the kids were starting school. Like, talk about no systems and no structure. It like all went out the window. So it was really a test of like, probably more of a test for me, because he was like, Jared's like so good under pressure. He's like, whatever. Like, he's like in a boiler room every day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So he's so good. He's so good with any kind of pressure. I was like stacking it. I was stacking like all the different things. And I think that like when this goes back to the point of like having the ebb and the flow and not being so rigid. And I think it really tested me personally on where I needed to like let go and more of like let flow than be so needing the structure in place. So I think like it doesn't matter what the hard thing is that a couple is going through. I think you have to know yourself. Like, what are your triggers? Because looking back, although that was like the hardest time in our marriage, it wasn't because we were fighting each other. It was because like I was overwhelmed. Like I was overwhelmed with running my business at the time because there were so many things going on, not having a stable home to live in because like we were just in this limbo period. The kids were starting school. I'm trying to micromanage all these moving pieces with nothing stabilized, right? So like that was more of a test / trigger for me. And I look back at it, I'm like, that was such a learning opportunity. So I would say no matter what the thing is that you're navigating, you gotta just be on the same page.
Yeah.
I remember I came home one day because we were living with my in-laws and like he just had bought me a gift. Like I think he bought me like a new purse or something for like no reason. Cause he's like, I know you're stretched thin right now and you're under pressure and I love you so much and we're on the same team. Like just for no, it could have been like flowers. It like doesn't matter what the gift is. I felt like he was seeing me and like where I was at and just acknowledging.
Yeah.
Right.
You were getting that recognition that you didn't even know that you needed, but he saw that you needed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think at the end of the day, and my parents have demonstrated this so well, they've been married for over 43 years.
Wow.
And grandparents, both of my grandparents, over 60 plus years of marriage. And thank God I've always had really, really good examples. And I think communication has to be there because if he doesn't know, your partner doesn't know what you're going through and you're experiencing all of this bubbling up on the inside, at some point the bubble's gonna burst.
Yeah.
And they don't even know why.
Yeah.
You know? So I think communication, number one, and just like get on the same team. Like that person is, you're with them for a reason, whether you're together or you're married. Like get on the same team and have those conversations. Have the hard conversations.
Yes. I say that all the time. I'm like, have the hard conversations. You'll feel so much better after you do, whether it points you in the opposite direction or it pulls you together. You have to have the hard conversations always. And a lot of times I've realized this in my own relationship that when we do have hard conversations, especially leading up to getting married, it's like, wow, this was not as big as we meant it. Like we made it up in our minds because you can create resentment by not saying anything at all. So by having the conversation, you're like, wow, we actually feel the same way about this. Why did we feel so uncomfortable to talk about it? Yeah.
At least you can come to an understanding of like, oh, I can see your point of view. Even if you don't agree with it, you can come from that place of understanding. Also, when you know you're on the same team, because with Jared and I think we also just, again, recently in the past like year, maybe even 6 months, like on our spirituality faith journey, like we've really, because we're two different religions, which doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, we're so connected on a really deep spiritual level.
Yeah.
I think that has brought us so much closer because also when you face hard things, you're like, okay, like we can get through it. Like we have God, we have each other.
Yeah.
And like we can navigate this.
Yes.
You know? So I think that again, like it really just boils down to like, what do you want at the end of the day as a couple? And I know my parents have had these same conversations, married 43 plus years, 60 plus years. Like you don't get to that level of love and legacy and marriage and commitment by just easy street.
Yeah, no.
Like it actually, the hard stuff brings you closer.
It does.
And then you're like, thank God, because those hard times actually brought us closer, more understanding, deeper commitment. If it was just easy, there's really nothing, it's like, might be fun, but you're like, what are we actually like connected and like committed to?
Yeah.
So like, what a blessing to be able to have those hard times to get through together and come out better on the other side.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it and everybody would be successful and there wouldn't be such a high divorce rate.
Right.
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 But it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be worth it. And if when you choose your person, you're basically signing up saying, I'm pretty sure we can get through anything together.
Yeah.
It might suck.
You don't even know what you're getting into.
You don't even know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I'm confident that we can get through it together.
Right. And I think too, even to that point is like, you have to like, I know with Jared and I, like we were like, this is it. Like once we're married, like we will figure this out together no matter what comes our way. Like and look, we don't do like, no one does it perfect, right? Like no one has a perfect relationship, marriage, anything, right? There's no such thing as perfect.
No.
Which is another line we tell the kids all the time. We're like, there's no such thing as perfect. But if you're willing to get on the same page, have the conversations, do the work individually, but also together, like that's a good recipe.
Yes.
That's a good recipe there.
That's a nice little cake you're making for yourself. So you obviously, this is your messaging, is that women really can have it all. And so we know like how you came to be this way, but what does that mean to you? And what does it look like for you now that you've actually accomplished that?
Yeah. Well, I think that every day we're building, right?
Like, it's always going to get getting better and changing, right?
Yes. It's always evolving. I think that there's no, when you're in the world of like high performance, motivation, like, this world, there is that like dangling carrot of like, there's always more, there's always the next thing. So number one, I think you really, really have to like, I live in gratitude every day. Like I before I even get out of bed in the morning, I'm like praying, like, thank you, God. Like, thank you, God, for my husband. Thank you, God, for my babies. Everyone's healthy. Like, you really have to have gratitude at the center, because if not, you're just chasing this thing, this like shiny object that's like always like taking more steps away from you, and you're chasing. So I think when it comes to having it all, like you have to decide what that is for you, right? Is having it all dinners at home with your kids? Because I'll tell you, like, we don't have dinners every night together as a family. We have more breakfasts together than we do dinners. That's like our quality family time together, just because that's the season of life that we're in right now. It's doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, but right now, that's just what it looks like. So I think the having it all motto and mindset really is an individual quest, right? Like, what does that mean for you in your marriage? What does that mean for you in your business? What does that mean for you as a mother? All the different buckets. And going back to priorities and defining, it also means it could change, right? So like in this season right now, this is a very full season for me, right?
Yes.
I don't like the word busy. I don't like the word busy. It's full. It's a very full season.
Because busy has a negative connotation on it now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
full is like very expansive.
Abundant,
like exactly like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's very full and abundant. And so for me, like the biggest gift I think we can give ourselves is presence. Right? Because just like we're talking about, I don't want to be on the phone when my kids are taking a bath, like looking at a screen and like, look at this gift. And like, I could get emotional talking about it because I love spending time with my kids and my husband and my friends. Like, I want to be there in that moment. And it's so fleeting and it's so fast, right? That it's like, if you're really grounded in gratitude and presence, you really can have it all. You can have it all. There's no lack, right? One moment might be heavier on the family side than it is on the business side, but you get to choose.
Yeah.
And how beautiful, like every day you can wake up and like change the story.
Yes.
Change the vision, change the picture, right? But like decide and decide for yourself, because you don't want someone else deciding for you. And I think a lot of times, it doesn't matter, men, women, if they've already made the decision that someone else is like choosing that narrative for them, that's when we feel like we don't get to have it all. But if you're in control and you could wake up today, you could be listening to this podcast right now and be like, you know what? I'm going to make a decision today to change one small thing that I am in control of, that I want for my life. And just start there.
Yeah.
It's not like moving mountains every single day. It's literally micro decisions, micro habits that add up. And then you wake up in a year from now and you're like, I'm living in a world that I dreamed of. So like, just start.
Yes. Yeah. Just start. That's the easiest thing. And I think that's what a lot of us as women and just people in general do. They try to do everything all at once and it becomes too much and then they fail. And then they're like, well, they keep dropping what they're trying to pick up and you're putting too much on it. The plate is overflowed. Just put the broccoli on the plate.
Right.
And finish that. Then add the chicken. Like just do it one at a time. It doesn't have to be everything all at once. Exactly. You can build with baby steps.
Exactly. And that's anything. That's with any goal.
Yes.
How do you write a book? You start with chapter 1, page 1. How do you lose 50 pounds? You start with day 1 in the gym with 30 minutes a day. Like, I think a lot of times we get so ahead of ourselves.
We do.
And you're like, but I want to like be amazing at all these things. Start with 1 and then get really good at that. And then like add the next thing. Right.
Yes.
And that's again, like how you wake up. And again, it's got to be rooted in gratitude and presence. And when you can do that, you are now in control of your life. Yeah. You're not putting it on other people, you know, saying yes or no to things where you don't want to be. You realize like you have 100% control, and what it looks like today versus tomorrow versus a year from now are the decisions that you made right now.
Yeah.
So just take one step.
Yes. And looking at a person like you or anybody that people follow on social media, they're like, oh, their life is perfect and I want that life and all of these things. Those people aren't more talented than you.
Right.
They're not smarter than you. They're not more beautiful than you are. They're not all these things that you tell yourself in your head because they have the life that you want.
Yeah.
They're just creating it for themselves. There is no competition there.
Right.
If you want that life, you can literally create it for yourself.
Yes.
You just have to want it bad enough. And like you're saying, just start with one step and then add step 2 and step 3. And before you know it, a year will fly by and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't even recognize myself because you can have it too. Exactly. It's not impossible just because somebody else did it before you.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
I remember when I moved here. So I moved from Pennsylvania. And at the time, I told you I was like I was running an entire golf club in Pennsylvania. I loved what I was doing, but like so Jared, the guy I was dating, who I'm now married to, was here. I'm like, well, I got to make a decision at some point to like stay or move or like, what am I doing with my life? So I moved here for a man, which I never thought I would do. I actually ended up interviewing at his company and not taking that job. But then like we met and that relationship started. So I moved here, but then had like lost all purpose and career and was kind of, he was like, look, you don't need to work. Like you can kind of just like find a job when you're ready. And I'm like, I loved what I did so much. So I went from like producing and creating and very high levels to now like, I'm going to just wake up and go to the beach every single day. Like that's, to me, like that wasn't fulfillment. And so I remember I did this exercise and the listeners, this is an amazing exercise to do. And it was 10 different areas of life. And I can like give you all 10, but it was like health and wellness, relationships, romance, spirituality, physical. So like, you know, your body. So it was 10 different areas. And you rank yourself between 1 and 10. Like, where are you? Family was on there. And like all these other areas were high. But then on the purpose and the career was like 0. And I was like, I just went from a 10 to a 0. Again, talk about the movie, right? And that was when I first moved here. Didn't have a community, didn't know, like knew nobody other than the man that I was dating and felt so lost. And this is why I also am so, so passionate about community and finding the right women and plugging in and building with women who also are builders and creators, because I didn't have it. And I saw how much it changed my life once I started looking for those kind of women. And so I did this exercise and I was like, okay, I'm like a 0 here. How do I make it a 10? Like, how do I take it from nothing, right? So like for the listeners that are listening right now, like you may feel this area in your health and wellness or your romance or your like financial situation. And you literally look at it like, where are you? Where do you want to be? And what do you need to do to make it happen? And it's such an easy exercise to go through, but it really helps you look at all the pillars. And I think it just goes back to like, where are you? Where do you want to be? And how do you close the gap?
Yeah. No, I think that's amazing. Well, and to continue on your point of being called to build a community, when did you realize that coaching wasn't enough for you and you wanted to do something bigger, because now you're building this community with Kelly Roach and it's incredible, called to lead. Yes. So where was the segue into that where you're like, oh my gosh, we can make this so much bigger and help so many more women?
So, man, I think it was like a year and a half ago. So Kelly and I met also through a mutual friend at an event.
Sounds on par.
Yes. And I was working out in the gym one morning. I get all my best ideas in the shower and in the gym. That's like when I'm in my flow.
Yes.
And so I was working out and I just like picked up my phone and I just like voice messaged her and I was like, you have a podcast. I have a podcast. Let's do a live podcasting event together.
I was there.
Yes.
Yes. I was at it.
Yes. You were there.
I remember. Last minute, Mel literally told me the day before and she's like, hey, do you want to come? Maybe it was the day of. No, it must have been the day before. Yeah. But I was there. It was great.
And so it was literally like, I think it was in March. It was in February or March of 2025. And within less than 30 days, I think we had maybe like 6-ish, 7, 8 sponsors in the room. And then it was 100, the space, it was like a tiny space.
Yes.
And we had 100 women that came to that first event.
Yes.
And we were like, we just put this together in less than 30 days. There's obviously a demand here for this. And we were like, maybe there's something here. So we were like messaging back and forth. Do we do it again? When are we going to do it again? I think we were like, let's just try again. We'll see like what comes of it, Did it again in September. So the first one was, let's say, March. The second one was September. 200 women at the next event. Put that one together in say like 2 to 3 months. And at that point we were like, this is now like, so at that point we solidified call to lead. Because we were like, these are the women that are called to lead. These are the women that are leading in their marriages, in their relationships, in their businesses, in their faith, in their fitness. Like that is the core and the heart of call to lead. So it's naturally attracting all of these leaders, community builders who are already leading. And it doesn't matter if they're leading on podcasts, events, in their businesses, like everyone's in a different kind of outlet, but everyone is coming together for the collective of like this massive rise of you can have it all. And the women in the room that you're surrounded by and yourself are an example of that. It
really is. I remember being there and being around the women and who was your MC?
Tracy Litt. She's amazing.
She's amazing. And she's
going to be our MC for the next event in October.
Oh, yeah? Okay,
yes.
You guys, everybody that's going to the event, trust me, you guys are going to want to get tickets. Even if you don't live in South Florida and you want to go, like, it's in Miami. Come hang out.
And we also have virtual. We also have virtual tickets.
Okay, perfect.
But come live because it's going to be the best experience ever.
Yeah, you guys will love Tracy. She's a hoot. She was great on the mics, but you really do just feel like one with the women in there because you're just networking, you're hanging out and people are talking to you about you and you're asking people about them and you're realizing who you mesh within the room and what you can give to them and how they can incorporate and collaborate with you. It's very cool, but there's this level of like everything just comes down and you realize like we're all just badass women that are hanging out together and we all have value.
Mindset.
Yes.
It's literally the women in the room. They all understand the abundance mindset. And when you have that, you're like, there's no lack. We actually all together collectively, there's so much more power when we connect and collaborate together than if we were to just do it on our own, which is how Kelly and I started.
Yes. No, literally one thing that as I was listening to you speak about it, one thing that I just want to point out to our listeners is that they didn't know what was going to come of it. They didn't know Called to Lead was going to be this thing that it is now, this huge ecosystem in this women's community, but they started. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall. You're like, it might stick, it might not. And then they threw the spaghetti and they said, wow, there's a lot of spaghetti sticking on the wall here.
Yes.
Clearly we have something. Let's run with it. And now you're building massively. Yeah. And it was all just something random that you guys did together in less than 30 days. Yeah. But it's because you executed on the thought. Yes. It wasn't just a thought that sat in your notes app.
Right.
It can start small and then just keep going because you have no idea what it's going to be.
That's right. And, I think also, again, as I've been on, more of a spiritual journey, God will give you the vision, but if you don't execute, guess what? It's going to go to someone else. And then you're going to be looking one day on an app or on, social media and be like, I had that idea.
Yes.
But you didn't do anything with it. So if you have, like, you are being given that gift, that vision for a reason. It's not random.
No, it's
So
not.
if you get that download or that idea, do something with it. Don't just let it sit and percolate. Like, actually take action and move forward, because I 1000% believe like God is at the heart of what we are doing with Call to Lead. And it's, yes, Kelly and I and our rally team leaders and our sponsors and our speakers, like that's what everybody sees. But the work that's being done, Kelly and I look at each other and we're like, there's so much more in this than just us. Like this really is like, God is at the heart of it, because these things wouldn't be happening so organically. I mean, it's just, it's like, I would say magic, but it's God.
Yeah, but it's God. Yeah. I was actually going to ask you that. Do you think that there's something in women's communities, maybe just in South Florida, maybe in women's communities as a whole, that you find is lacking, and maybe faith-based is what could be lacking in some other communities?
Well, and that's the exact difference of what Call to Lead is. I mean, it is, number one, we are like shouting from the rooftops, loud and proud, you can have it all. Because so many people will say, well, you can have it all, but not all at once. Or you can have it all, but, right? Like exception, exception, exception. We are saying you absolutely can. Go look at all the women that are doing it, because they'll give you a blueprint. But also, like, there's no events that I have personally been to, experienced, or seen that are taking the business side, that are also taking the application side, and at the heart of it, the faith-driven aspects, and putting all of this together. I haven't seen it.
No.
And so anything that we do, like if you're not honoring like where it's coming from, which is the source that's giving you all this abundance, like you have to be able to know that it's so much bigger than you. Like you can't just say it's all me, right? Like at some point it's like there are bigger forces at play. I look at my children and I literally stare at them while they sleep and I'm like, thank you, God. Like God co-created this amazing human being, and every parent out there should be looking at your kids and saying the same thing. Like I look at their eyelashes, I look at their hair, and I'm just like, thank you, God. Because like, yes, I physically made you, but like, thank you, God.
Yeah.
You know? And it took me also a while to get to that place of like really incorporating something so much bigger in my life, but also women like Kelly Roach and Tracy Litt and the women that we have in this Call to Lead community are women of faith, and all different faiths.
Yes.
And backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, if you're Christian, if you're Buddhist, it doesn't matter. If you believe that there's something greater than you that's helping you to co-create, like this community, that is also at the heart of what Call to Lead is.
Yeah. No, that's incredible.
It's so much bigger than all of us.
Yeah, you have to believe that there is something greater than you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you essentially believe that you are your own God. And I can't imagine what kind of person you would be if you believed that. You know?
To think, to give yourself like all the credit that you created, like
bananas.
It's right. Like everything from your marriage, relationship, your children, anything physical, like that had to come from somewhere. Like the idea was like just like we talked about, if the idea is coming, like, yes, like my best ideas, like I said, come from the shower, come from working out. But like also how crazy, because in the process of building Call to Lead, so many more downloads, so much more, again, magic, God actually being at the center of it has been 100x than it's ever been before. But that's also because like when you let him in, you now have these conversations and you're co-creating with the best creator there ever is.
Yes, literally the greatest of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than that.
Right.
No, I totally agree. So I just have one last question for you.
Okay.
Well, actually, I have two. One is a fun one, but this one is for the audience specifically. So if there was one sentence that you could give to the women who are feeling overwhelmed, like they don't have it all, but they do want it all and they want to create that within themselves, what would you tell them today?
So I would say get in rooms where other women are showing you it's possible, and have the systems, the strategy, and the support to go build that big, beautiful life that you want to create. Because you will be overwhelmed if you don't have all three of those components. You need all three.
Yes.
Right? You need to be shown it's possible, but you also need the systems to support you, a strategy to know where to go, what to do, how to build, and support, like we've been talking about.
Yes.
And if you have all three of those, you will feel so supported, you will feel so abundant, and the sky's the limit.
Yes. Amen to that. No, I love it. So I have a fun question for you. It has absolutely nothing to do with the show, but I ask every single guest, so the audience knows what question I'm about to ask you. It's the last meal of your life. You're not going to have another one after this.
Okay.
It's the death row meal question. Yeah. So super intense, but also be oddly specific. Like it can be where a specific place, town, city, country, restaurant, whatever.
Okay.
What is going to be the last meal that you eat before the end?
I'm going to give you the meal and the drink too, and I'm going to tell you why both of these things.
Yes.
So on my very first date with my husband, he cooked me homemade meal, this salmon pea puree meal with like over the candlelit balcony of our condo that we first lived in together, overlooking Miami. And it was like, I didn't even know where the relationship was going at that point. I was, we're both in like our love bubble at the time, but it was the start of our life together. And it was like, he home cooked me this meal with his hands, and he put so much love into it. And so I think, like, my mom always used to say to me, marry a man who knows how to cook, because your dad doesn't know how to cook.
Yes.
But I can do a lot of things, but cooking is not in his forte. So that meal, because it was like the meal that started our entire life together. And just, I felt all the love that was like in how he prepared it, how he presented it, how amazing it was. And the drink, and this is like, does not go with this meal, but I'll tell you why it was so amazing. We were in Paris on our baby moon when I was pregnant with Jake. And
great choice.
There's a place called Les Maurice that we stayed at, which is the hotel. And right next to Les Maurice, connected to Les Maurice, is this artisan chocolatier restaurant cafe. And it's called Angelina's. I don't know if you've ever been.
Wow, no, I haven't.
But Angelina's, and I was pregnant, so I was trying not to drink a lot of coffee, right?
Yeah.
And so we were like, do you have coffee? No, they don't have coffee. Okay, well, we'll take a hot chocolate. It was like, I was literally giving birth, dreaming, thinking about this hot chocolate, because it was so good. So if you go to Paris, you have to go to Angelina's. It is the most like delicate, like thickest, most like perfection cup of hot chocolate ever. But again, it's because of the memory and being there in this beautiful, obviously Paris, like city of love on my baby moon, and just like pregnant. So of course, like everything like tastes and smells so much better when you're pregnant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So that meal with that drink, because of all the memories and who I was with.
Yeah. No, I love to, well, that's great. First of all, I love to ask people this question because everybody's response is always so different. So it's cool that you remembered meals based on the experience that they brought you. It might not have been specifically about the food itself, but it was about the joy that you had while you were having that meal. So that's what you would have again. You would essentially recreate it. So that's different. Nobody else has given an answer like that. So I really enjoyed hearing your version of it. Also, side note, just because I don't want to leave this out, but Sandi has a book. Which book is this? This is your newest one.
Yeah.
Your second book.
Yes.
Okay. And you actually have recipes in this book, right? Yeah. And it's journaling. Actually, I'm going to hand it to you so that you can explain to us a little bit about it, because I don't want to leave it out of the episode.
Okay, amazing. So this is Slay Your Way, and it's a book on productivity and time management and work-life wellness, all the things that we're talking about. But also because I am a working mom, wife, one of the things that I did not want my kids to miss out on was not having home cooked meals, and literally like the smell of like whatever was cooking in the kitchen. Like I grew up, like we went out to eat 5-6 nights a week because my mom was working, and like it was just the quickest, easiest thing to do. Or it was like hamburger helper.
Something really fast, one pan.
For me, like the smell of your childhood and like what's cooking in the kitchen, like I always had that at my bubby, like my grandparents' house. And so I wanted to give women meals that were under 30 minutes to make, but that were also healthy and easy cleanup. Cause like we ain't got time to be like sweating in the kitchen over like 2, 3, 4 hour meals, like quick, easy, and healthy. So there's over 20 meals in here. And by the way, your kids can make these with you. My kids started cooking with me at 3 years old, or maybe even younger than that. So all of the meals in here are easy, healthy, easy cleanup, breakfast, lunch, dinner, like they're all in here. Sheet pan meals, crock pot meals, like you will love these because they'll make your life easier. But it's also, there's journaling in every single chapter as well. So as you go through, for example, this chapter right here, I think there's 11 chapters in the book. We talk about non-negotiables, your superpowers, the power of the pot. I mean, like it's all the things that we're talking about. Chapter 8 here is called Self-Care That Actually Works. And so in the back of the end of the chapter journal prompts, it says, what does real self-care look like for me in this season of life? So we like are getting really specific. I love a good call to action. So I love to like learn the thing and then go implement. Because I don't think that if you're just taking in information, but you're not actually doing the work, it just doesn't stick. So we learn and then we implement. That's how I do all my coaching. That's how all my books are. So you get a 3-in-1. You get a book, a journal, and a cookbook all in one.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys, everybody needs this book. I'm so excited. She's gifting it to me. I don't think I've ever had a guest bring me a gift before. So thank you. I'm super excited to read, and actually it's like an interactive book.
When you do it, you'll have to tag me. Let me know which ones you like.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah. And I'm a really good cook. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm like, I can throw down in the kitchen. So when I use your recipes, I'll definitely share them with everyone on social media, and then I'll tag you too.
So good. And you'll see like in the book, like my kids, there's like pictures of them cooking in the kitchen too. So if my 5-year-old can do it, like anyone can do it.
Yeah. If Jordy's in there chefing it up, we can all figure this out, ladies.
He puts his little chef hat on. It's so cute.
So cute. Well, first of all, thank you for being on the show. You were absolutely incredible, and what you're building in your community, and just also as being a coach for your one-on-ones and the community that you've built as Slay Your Day, and now catapulting that into Called to Lead is a really, really big deal. So thank you for being a support system and coaching women and showing us another way to live our lives so that we really can have it all. It's incredible what you're doing. So thank you for sharing it, and thank you for being who you are and doing what you're doing out here, because it's no small feat and you make it look easy, but I know that it's not. So you do it with class and style while being a mom and a wife and being gorgeous on top of that. So like, thank you for showing us that there is a way to have it all. So I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you came on the show. So where can our listeners find you after the show?
Yes. So on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Called to Lead. So hopefully you get your ticket to Called to Lead. Sandi Glandt, Sandi Glandt, on all of the platforms. We have the Slay Your Day podcast, which hopefully you'll come on. And
absolutely.
We can do the interview with you as well. And so, so every week we drop new content on the podcast, on YouTube, and then Called to Lead also, Called to Lead movement on Instagram. All the updates of our speakers, our sponsors, our rally team leaders, all the micro pop-up events that we do. So come in, grab your ticket, and come to all the events, because the moment they sign up and get plugged in, you'll be connected with the most amazing women.
Yes, absolutely. And do you have a website for Called to Lead, or if somebody wants to work with you, Slay Your Day as a coach, is there a specific place they can go to find you?
Yeah. So if they go to sandraglandt.com, I think that's just, sandraglandt.com, it'll pop up. There'll be freemiums on there, the courses on there, the High Performance Accelerator Academy is on there. And then we open doors to that 2 days a month. So it's only open for 48 hours a month.
Wow.
We have a window of time where they can come in, find out about the program. Most of it is by referral, because we keep a really tight-knit community. And we want women who understand the mindset.
Yes.
Who understand what it means to come in with an abundance mindset and come in with giving, not just taking and receiving, because they, like, again, the women that come in, they already know that, but at the same time, we want to protect it. So, just getting into that community is game changer, not just for their businesses, but also like how they're growing personally and professionally. Cause that's where we do it all. It's business. We have fun. We collaborate. The women have their own events that they invite the other members to. So it's a very expansive community.
Yes. No. Well, you guys got it here. Sandi Glandt is here for you. If you want to be a part of Called to Lead or a part of Slay Your Day, she is your girl. For those of you who don't already follow the show, make sure you follow at Feral the podcast across all platforms. You can follow me at Savana_Montana. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, hit the like button, leave some comments for Sandi, hit her up on social media, the DMs, the works. Make sure you subscribe and have a Feral Friday. Until next time, stay feral, and we will see you very soon. Mwah. Okay, love you. Bye.